Well, interesting development, Robin, and I don't want to make too much out of it, but hey, I think it's legitimate. We know that Zion Williamson, the young hotshot star for the New Orleans Pelicans, left the bubble to deal with a family issue. And I take that at, face value. I'm not going to look anything into that. What I think is significant, however, is that it's been reported by The Athletic that he was suffering leg cramps this week and had to miss parts of practice before leaving the team yesterday. Rob, I look, I'm not a doctor and all that, but this is a 19-year-old kid who has been off for 4 months, who just got back basically from injury that kept him out for basically the whole season. And I think that this is not a good sign. We know his body is incredible, but it's a lot of torque he puts on a 6'6", 285-pound frame because of his leaping ability. He's been limited to 19 games this year, Rob. And then at Duke, he played one season and got injured. And I'm sorry. Like, again, I'm not going to read too much into it, but I do think this is a red flag for me.
Yeah, we got to be very careful because we don't know.
Right.
The team said that it was a family emergency, Chris, and we have to take
I mean, that's legit. I'm not saying that he's gone because of the leg cramps. I'm just saying the fact that he had to sit out some practices because of the leg cramps.
But are the leg cramps because there's something wrong with him, or he didn't during the break of 3 or 4 months didn't be a professional athlete and make sure he was in shape? Do you know what I mean? Before getting back, is that what it is, Chris, or is it that there's something deeper because of the injuries he has had early on and to be so young? And we've seen what's happened, right? We saw it at Duke. We saw it when he first got to the Pelicans. And now if this is again, and then wasn't there some other situation in high school too?
Yeah.
Wasn't there another injury?
He hasn't played like consistently for a year. In how long? Because remember, he played at Duke, played 33 games, but did have the injury, the foot injury. Or was it a knee? He had the injury, the leg injury. Then he comes back for Summer League, has an injury, right? Then he misses all but 19 games in the regular season.
Part of it is that they didn't want to rush him back, right?
Right.
They took their time. I got that.
But now you come back and you got leg cramps. Now, let's do our due diligence. Here's what the story says in The Athletic. Williamson was spotted being attended to by medical personnel at a recent practice, but he is quote unquote fine, and the cramping was quote unquote not an issue, a source said. The cramping is not the reason Williamson left, the source added, but was something he dealt with. Now, I'm not tying the two together.
No, that's what I'm at. Right.
You know,
we can't make that leap.
Oh, he's not. He's really hurt. No, I'm not saying that at all. I believe that he had an urgent family matter. I'm just saying, is it concerning that a 19-year-old kid who has been injured every few months comes back and within the first few practices, he's got leg cramps and has to sit out some of practice?
Yeah, I don't know. An injury and leg cramps can happen, Chris. Is that an injury?
It's not in it. Remember when LeBron cramped during the finals?
No, right. That's what I'm saying. That's not an injury to me, is it? Or is it an ailment?
I don't think it's an injury. Ailment could be bad too. If the
I know, but I'm just asking
something.
I'm
don't
not
think
looking
it's
at
not
it as
an injury. What I'm getting at is it always seems to be something.
All right, now that's fair.
Injury wise. I'm not, again, we don't even have to talk about the family matter because
he can't stay on the court.
Yeah, he can't. That's all I'm saying.
That's the bottom line. He can't stay on the court, and he's young.
I'm just throwing it out there because looking at it, he like you said it, he can't seem to stay on the court. Is this something that you kind of got to worry about? That's what I'm getting at. Because go ahead.
I think that's fair. Especially, let's see how this plays out. Somehow, some way, because now he's got to stay quarantined, right, for 4 days at least when he comes back.
No, I think it's going to be longer than that. I thought
it was only 4 days.
10 days.
Is it? I thought it was 4 days if you don't test
Here's
positive.
what it says.
I'm just getting
the Pelicans added that Williamson is expected to rejoin the team at some point in the restarted season, but didn't provide a timetable. So hopefully, let's say this first. Hopefully it's nothing really bad with his family.
And just think
hopefully
about
it's not too negative of a situation or not a negative situation at all.
How crazy would that be that we know that the NBA kind of made sure they had the Pelicans there hoping that they could get in the playoffs and then Zion doesn't play. Like that would be like.
Well, you think? See, I don't think it was funny business like that.
Oh, I do. The NBA.
Really?
I used to call the WWF NBA or whatever. Yes, there was always stuff going on.
I
in that
don't think
league.
they could have just brought 16 back and started the playoffs.
I do.
You
could have played. You don't have to play games, Chris.
That's a petri dish for injury.
You don't have to play games. You could have played scrimmages like they're doing inter-squad games. You could have played that. Yes, you could have. You didn't have. I don't think this had anything to do with Zion. I mean, come on. It's not like they can't survive without Zion. They went the whole year without him, basically. I just think they want him, if they could get him into the playoffs and get him involved, it would be good for the league. That's all. I'm not saying that it's hocus pocus and they're going to make the other teams lose.
You did
to get them in. I'm talking about, but they want to be able to get them a chance.
WNBA or whatever you call it.
The WWE NBA.
You would never say that about MLB. Come on, stop. Be fair.
Give me a hocus pocus trick when they did something.
The Houston Astros. How about that?
MLB had nothing to do with that.
They're worse than hocus pocus. They're just banging on trash cans. I mean, how about stepping into the 21st century, Astros? I mean, my goodness. But all I'm saying, Rob, and let me keep reading this. Per protocols set by the NBA and agreed to by the players' union governing life in the Disney bubble, any player who leaves campus is subject to a 10-day quarantine once he returns. So It looks like he's going to have to be quarantined for 10 days. And again, hopefully this is nothing negative whatsoever with his family situation. But this is, Rob, you said it. This is what I'm just getting at. He can't seem to stay on the court. The leg cramps, whatever it is, he can't seem to stay on the court. And that concerns me. You've been off 4 months. You're 19 years old.
You should be able to bounce back. If anybody, it's the older players who have to restart, right? A young guy,
he's 20
that age,
years old. He just turned 20 this month.
Did he just turn 20
now? Yeah.
So he's a young guy. He should be able to bounce back. It shouldn't be that tough to work through things, but he's had his issues. So I think if you're the Pelicans, it's something you got to watch and take very cautiously, Chris, because the last thing you want to do is you spend a first overall pick on a guy and then you don't take care of him and he winds up hurting himself even more, and then you're out Anthony Davis and the guy who was supposed to replace him.
Yeah, and I just think, right, look, we've never seen a guy like this. A guy with this build with that type of torque. Remember with Derrick Rose, who's half the size of Zion.
Right.
But you remember the torque he used to put on his body because he was so explosive, and obviously it gave way at some point. Remember Larry Johnson? Now, Larry wasn't as explosive as Zion, but he was basically a 6'6", 6'7" post player who was phenomenal early on. Remember? He was like a perennial all-star. Yeah.
Yes.
It really was. It may have been on his way to a Hall of Fame career, but the back gave out, which is different, obviously, but his back gave out. Now, Barkley, this might be the example that Zion has to follow. Remember when Charles Barkley entered the league, he was overweight. His nickname was the round mound of rebound. He said himself, I believe he said he had to lose 45 pounds early in his career. And, you know, we think of him as Big Chuck, who was fat and all that. You look at him when he played, when he was, you know, in his prime. He wasn't fat.
No. He was big and stuff, right? But he was solid. He wasn't fat at all.
No, it wasn't fat. And he was fat in college. And so he dropped all that weight, and obviously he really never had major injury concerns. So that might be what Zion has to do, Rob. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trainer, and maybe this is nothing. But it would be, come on, Rob. I'd have to be crazy. If I'm working for the Pelicans, I've got to be a little concerned, right? That my guy just can't stay on the court.
No, and he's young, and he's had the other issues. So I agree. They would have to take a look at it and hope that this is not going to be reoccurring, and he's never going to be one of these guys you can count on, because that's really what it is. We talk about it in the NFL about being available. Like, you got to count on it. Like okay, this if he doesn't play, say he comes back and he's got some issues and he misses the 8 last regular season games, or he misses 6 of them, and you don't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a blow. That would be a blow to your franchise. I
mean, he may be a guy. I would be surprised, Rob, if they're not looking at him as a load management guy right now. As this is a guy we're going to have to load manage starting now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the least bit if they're already thinking that. No back-to-backs and all that. And hopefully that's not the case, man, because I think the kid is special. I'm not going to crown him yet, but obviously he's come out and done incredible things scoring the ball. So hopefully, man, we get to see him. And more importantly, hopefully he gets to realize his potential and be the best player he can be. But it's unfortunate and it's disconcerting. It may not be anything, but with his history, you know, it's a red flag. So let's throw it out to the callers. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. Yes, it's just leg cramps. But is Zion Williamson's inability to stay healthy cause for concern if you're a Pelicans fan?
All right. How about Max in Georgia? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up, Max?
Of course, more bad news for the West, I guess. Looking like LeBron might get an easier title run. But having said that,
hold on, Max. New Orleans was going to give LA some trouble.
Pump the brakes with that.
You know he doesn't want to see those ex teammates, though. We all know that, Chris. They know his weaknesses. Anyway, real quick.
Send him to the free throw line. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, exactly, Rob. You already know. I think we've seen some of this before, and we forget about Sean Kemp, a little bit of Dominique. I think he's more of a Sean Kemp. I mean, sure, he's a little bit heavier maybe, and that's to his own demise. I want to highlight this, though, if I can. I'm getting sick and tired of my generation, older generations, and younger generations saying that today's athletes are so superior and far more active than the past. I think that's false. And I think today you have more athletes who are strong and more athletes who are fast, and that's great. But guess what, guys? You need oxygen for those strong muscles. And I think that's what guys like Zion are lacking. Their upper body is so strong. Their lower body is what they need to focus on. You know, everybody wants to work on the things they're good at. Nobody wants to work on the things that they're weak at. I think that's the problem.
Interesting call, Max. Rob, I'll say this, Rob. Something's different. Something's wrong because you see it in pitching. Guys don't throw as much as they used to, but they get hurt more. See it in basketball. Guys work out more than ever. They're in better shape, but they get hurt more, it seems.
They got trainers. They got everything going on, and you're right. It ain't working out exactly.
I don't know what it is, but, you know, a lot of baseball pitchers say when you throw all year, that's not good for you at a young age.
Well, that's the other thing, too, Chris. Even kids now.
The specialization, right?
Specialization. When you play baseball, if you were the best player, you played shortstop, and then you would pitch right on your day.
And then you'd probably go play football or basketball.
Exactly.
Not both
and now these guys only pitch.
Right.
That's the only thing that they do. All right, what about Ham in New Jersey? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Ham?
Yeah, I do think it's a cause for concern. But the thing about it is, I think the team should adopt the LeBron formula, where they invest in their franchise players like $1.5 to $2 million in health and nutrition and getting their body right. Because I just think that these young players, they don't know how to take care of themselves.
But I don't think LeBron, first of all, that's LeBron doing it, not the team.
Yeah,
but I don't think he did that at a young age. If you're 20 and you're having these issues, that's a red flag. Because LeBron, he was obviously in good shape, but he wasn't spending $1.5 million on his body at that age.
Right.
You start doing that as you're older, right? You shouldn't have to.
Not when you're, and you just said it, he just turned 20. You're in there's little that can stop you at that time, at that age. How about Jeremy?
And this isn't a common thing. This is Zion. This is not all young players. So
Jeremy in St. Louis, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jeremy?
What's up? I think this is a big cause of concern for the Pelicans. Zion can't stay healthy. I think he's a bit overrated. I think he needs to worry about losing a little weight, developing his game, and continuing just to even be healthy.
Jeremy, the only thing I'm going to push back on when you say he's overrated, he took the league by storm when he played. Was there a problem when he was healthy to play, Chris? Did you? He took the league by storm.
He needs to be a better rebounder. You know, he's got about 6 to 7 rebounds a game. He can get more than that. And defender, but most young guys don't defend. So I'm not. Right. But there's no doubt, scoring wise, he was phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying.
It was ridiculous. Right. Yeah, we hadn't seen anything like it in a long time.
Go ahead.
What I mean about being a little overrated is his offensive game isn't all around.
No.
He can work on a lot of moves
I agree
under
with that,
the basket.
Can't shoot really.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And that's what I mean about being a little overrated. But I think he got to get his weight under control and continue to work on his game. And I think this is a cause of concern with the injuries that he's having.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy from St. Louis. Appreciate it. 877-99 on Fox if you want to jump in. Joseph in Virginia. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Joseph?
Good evening, fellas. I just know Anthony Davis is stroking that unibrow saying, "Is this your hall, folks?" I am telling you now, this is doing nothing but validating everything the Lakers did. This is a major concern because the league did everything they possibly could to make sure that they get this kid in the playoffs.
Hold on. How?
They did. The WWE.
22 teams?
22. Come on, Chris. They could have just had the same 8 teams instead of Orlando trying to push to come in for Brooklyn. They could have just ran it the way they were. There's no way that the Suns
just ran the Nah, you can't jump right into the playoffs.
No, but they could have played some scrimmages in preseason kind of to get back in. They did.
I think these 8 games with some of the teams not being playoff teams, I think they'll be more legit. I think if all 16 teams were in the playoffs playing each other, they're not going hard. They're scrimmaging. Like you said, right? They're scrimmaging. Now I think these 8 games will be somewhat legitimate.
Joseph, finally you saw the light and came to my side for a change.
I wouldn't say all that.
Thank you, Joseph. I like that. Rack him.
You know
I will say this. The number one thing is you got to be available. It doesn't matter how much production you put out. You got to be available. You have a great one, fellas.
All right.
It's scary to think
Joseph,
he might be on load management, Rob, and is basically what would be his first real season.